But I keep this one just for like aesthetic purposes. I feel like that's legal. I can do that. It wasn't an actual DNF. It was just kind of like an accidental DNF. There's a difference, okay? Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lachlan and this is my booktube. Today I have my emotional support puppy because we're gonna be unhauling some books. Yeah, I am at this point in my life where I've kind of realized I don't need to keep every single book that I've ever read. And I don't need to keep books that I've purchased ignorantly, not knowing what they were about, and then realizing what they're about, and then I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna like that. So I'm gonna be vicious. I'm gonna be ruthless. These are things that I want to be when it comes to unhauling my books, but I don't know how vicious I'll actually be because, like, you know, easier said than done. I really love books and I do collect books. So, you know, whatever. We're gonna try our best. So I'm gonna take you along with me. Honestly, I just wanted an excuse to hold my dog up because she looks really cute because she just got groomed and she's not really feeling well. She's old. She's getting there. She's getting old. This is Leia. So yeah, let's unhaul some books. I'm gonna go through my shelves. I already have a stack of, like, a couple stacks of books that I know I'm getting rid of, but I want to go through my shelves and go through and like pick out, you know, the books I don't want or need anymore because I am doing something very exciting. I'm gonna move my bookshelves into my bedroom. I don't know why I never did it before. Okay, I do know why actually, because this used to be my office and then I didn't like this being my office anymore, so I moved my office in my bedroom and then I didn't like that, so I moved my office downstairs and then I just kept my books in here. So anyway, we're gonna mix things up a little bit, but first I do want to get rid of some books. Let's go through my shelves. What a cutie pie. Here I have 2 copies of Legendborn. I do not need both copies. I think this is the one I read. So I'm going to be getting rid of one of the, well, actually, should I get rid of both? Because I don't really plan on reading the sequel. Like, I liked this, but not enough to read the next one. They're just so long and I'm not really into YA fantasy anymore. I mean, I'll read it every now and then, but it's just like not my jam, you know what I'm saying? So maybe I should just say goodbye to both. Priory of the Orange Tree. I read this a really long time ago. I think it was 2021 when I read this. My annotations are like, I used a pen. So I didn't even use like a highlighter and I didn't tab. I don't know if I should keep this. Like, I don't know how, like, I loved the book. So maybe I should just keep it. But I don't know if I'm ever really going to read it again. I don't know. This is going to go in the maybe. Little Thieves. I haven't read this. Am I going to? I don't know. You know what? If I don't read this by the end of the year, maybe I'll unhaul it. This is my hardcover of Song of Achilles. So I'm just going to keep that for now because I do love that book. These Violent Delights. Honestly, am I going to read these? I just don't know. I love the cover. It's killing me. The roses. I've heard such mixed things, so I just don't I don't know what to do. I have a really hard time getting rid of pretty books. That's gonna be a maybe. Gilded Wolves, no, I'm gonna keep that. Ray Bear, I'm gonna keep because I do really want to read. And then Ember in the Ashes, I'm gonna keep because I do intend I haven't read any of it, but I own the whole series. Shadows Between Us. I did love that book whenever I read it, and then Ace of Spades I'm keeping because I love. Okay, up here I have my Crave series. Wow, this is a really unattractive angle. So I'm gonna come back to that. Oh, this book here, Not My Problem by Sierra Smith. This is a sapphic YA, and I just don't think I'm gonna ever read it. I put it on my TBR for like a readathon like a year ago. And I'm sorry, I think it's gonna go. Probably gonna get rid of just like a lot of random YA books that I just haven't read yet. The Gilded Ones. This cover is gorgeous. Like, how do I get rid of this? But I have to be real with myself. I'm going to be vicious and I'm gonna get rid of it even though I haven't read it. I don't know. The Queen's Assassin. Here's another gorgeous cover. This is honestly like why I've not gotten rid of these books because I just love the covers to them. The Queen's Assassin. It's stunning. It's gorgeous. But she's gonna go in the unhaul pile. This Poison Heart. I'm gonna unhaul. I'm sorry. I truly am not a fan of myself right now, but I also am because I'm getting rid of books. Okay. King of Scars and Rule of Wolves. I love Leigh Bardugo, but I am never going to read these. I have kept them because they're stunning. They're gorgeous. Literally so pretty. So I'm thinking...
I don't know what I'm thinking.
Because like that's stunning. Why do people have to make such pretty books, but then why don't I want to read those pretty books? You know what I'm saying? Like, look at this. How do I get rid of that? Okay, maybe I just get rid of I know this makes no sense, but if I just get rid of Rule of Wolves, but I keep this one just for like aesthetic purposes, I feel like that's legal. I can do that. There's no rhyme or reason to like how I'm going about this. We're just gonna go about it. Okay. Chasing the Boogeyman. I bought this. It's a signed copy. I've just heard really bad things, honestly. I think I'm gonna get rid of this because I got this in Barnes & Noble. Chasing the Boogeyman. The cover, I was sucked in. I paid probably full price. Well, I probably had like my Barnes & Noble discount, but like that's expensive. I just don't think I'm going to get to it like before I die. So I'm sorry, Chasing the Boogeyman. You're gonna go. Let's see here. Oh, here I have some that we can get rid of. Stephen King's Salem's Lot. I read this 2 years ago. It had some iconic moments for sure, but for the most part, it was kind of a flop. I don't really vibe with Stephen King's writing. I do love horror movies, but with books, it's like hit or miss. Okay, and then Carrie, I just was not a fan of. I think I give this 1 or 2 stars. I thought it was so boring. And I still want to read The Shining, so I'm gonna keep this. I have a Lisa Joel book, The Family Upstairs. I'll keep that. Let me see what else I have to get rid of. Am I going to be unhauling a Penelope Douglas? I don't know. Okay, so Misconduct, I have not read. I don't know if I'm going to. This is going to go in the maybe. I have 2 copies of Credence, and I did not like the book. I actually thought it was boring. It wasn't that I didn't like the... I'm just going to keep it because, you know, I might give it like a second chance. I'm lying to myself. Look at this. Yeah, there's no second chance to be had because I read the whole book. So it's not like, have you ever read a whole book and then given it a second chance? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Then I have some romance books up here. The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm not drawn towards it. I'm sorry to the girl who in Barnes & Noble was like, you should buy this book. And I was like, yes. And then I bought it and never read it. I'm sorry, we're just gonna... Okay, and then... See, I don't know about this one. The Problem with Forever, because I've heard it's YA. And, like, I just don't know if I'm gonna like this.
Growing up, Mallory Dodge learned the best way to survive is to say nothing.
I'm gonna keep this, because I don't know. I might read it. I might read it one day. Romance Book Club. This book has haunted me. I don't know. I've heard such mixed... I almost said crazy things. I've heard such mixed things. It's gonna go in the maybe. Maybe I will get rid of you. Okay, Jayla, do not watch this video. I might unhaul Black Sun. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just like, yeah, I'm gonna get rid of that one. I never read it. I'm so sorry. I have a Casey McQuiston book staring at me. One Last Stop. I never read it. I have 2 copies of that book. So, I have 2 copies of this book. One of them is signed, so I'll keep the signed one. This one's not signed, so I'm gonna get rid of this one. Let's see, some of these. Gunkel. I started this last summer, actually. Oh, look at that. A Sailor Moon bookmark. I lose bookmarks like no tomorrow. Yeah, so I started this. I actually started tabbing it, and then it's not a romance book. It's a... I don't know what you would call it, because it's like, it's not literary fiction. Hold on, I'm taking out my tabs because, yeah, I'm gonna unhaul this one. It's like a summer read, like a funny comedy type deal. So we're gonna get rid of this because I don't think I'm ever gonna pick it up again. Like, it wasn't bad, it just, I started reading it before I went on vacation last summer, and then I did bring it with me, and then I just didn't pick it up, and then yeah. It wasn't an actual DNF, it was just kind of like an accidental DNF. There's a difference, okay?
What can we get rid of next?
Here we have Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. Now this one I annotated. I have a hard time getting rid of annotated books. I don't know what to do with this one because I wasn't like a huge fan by the time I got to the end of it. This is gonna go in the maybe.
Pack Up Zamon
By Kristen Higgins. I started this June of 2022 and I got 60 pages in and I DNF'd because the letter style I wasn't a fan of, and I was like, let me just pick this up whenever I'm in the mood for it. Honestly, I don't think I'm ever going to be in the mood for this because it's just straight up depressing, and it's basically about this woman who dies of an illness and then she leaves her husband like these letters. And so that's not a spoiler, that's literally like the beginning of the book, that's what it's about. And so you're reading like these letters, and yeah, honestly, I'm just getting like bad vibes all around just by talking about it because it's so depressing and so sad. So this is going. Okay, the day has come where I need to get rid of some Colleen Hoover books. Hopeless, I did tab it and I annotated. I like really annotated this one. I don't know, I'll keep that one for now. I have 2 copies of Ugly Love. One I read and one is signed. Okay, what can I get rid of? I don't know. I don't know what to do. I thought I was going to be able to like get rid of some of her books. November 9. I just like wasn't a fan of this book. I think I gave it 3 stars. I'm definitely never going to read it again. But I know I can't get this cover. Like the, you know, this cover is like out of print. So like, let me just hold off on hauling the co-hos for now. I'm just not, like, I need to come back to this when I'm mentally prepared, okay? I have 2 copies of It Starts With Us. Do I regret this? Yes. Now, I did like the book, but I don't know. There's really nothing on this shelf that I want to get rid of. Maybe 1,000 Boy Kisses. This is another one that I wrote in though. This is very written in. Okay, down here we have a bunch of like thrillers and stuff. Now I'm gonna be really vicious when it comes to this. Shelf. The Last Word can go screw itself. Like, I fucking hate this book. I did not like that book. This one I would, but it's signed and it's like personalized. Lock Every Door. I wasn't a huge fan of this one. So maybe I get rid of that. So I'll get rid of Lock Every Door. Okay, the Book of Cold Cases was boring as shit. I did not like this book. Boring as shit too. Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. I'm really picky with thrillers. That book was good for like the first 75 pages, and then it's got like the letter, you know, trope or whatever to it. The Golden Couple. Hello. Goodbye. This is a domestic thriller. I just don't see myself reading it. This is one where like I purchased it because the cover was pretty. Like it was book of the month. And then I realized it was a domestic thriller and I was like, why did I do this to myself? Everything else here I think I can keep. Planet in a Cornfield was a gift and I still have not read it. So I do want to read this. Let's see. What else can I get rid of? The Book Thief. I know this edition is like pretty cool and stuff. I don't know. I used to love this book, but I think I've just kind of like gotten over that. Also, I think what hurt my love for this book is the movie. I did not like the movie at all. Okay, and then this book, it's a no from me, dog. It's not horrible, but it's just, oh god, it was so boring. In the beginning, I was like, okay, this is interesting. And there were a few lines. I tabbed 3 times. I don't know if you can see this, but there's 3 tabs because there's 3 lines that I was like, damn, that's a good line. But this was like 400 pages of exhaustion. I'm gonna get rid of it. The cover is so pretty. And I know literally everyone and their mom loves that book. No, literally Cammie's mom loves that book. I'm sorry, Cammie. I just gotta do what I feel is right, you know, in my heart. Okay, and I'm gonna get rid of it. That's what's right. Okay. What else? Lovely Bones. My friend gave me this. And I'm sorry, Devin, if you're watching this. But I'm just like not gonna read it. I'm sorry. Lovely Bones is gonna go for the wolf. I don't know. It's young adult. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get rid of it. So then I have these like vampire books. I don't even know what the first one in the series is. I think I have most of the series. Bleeding Hearts. This is a series I haven't read, but it's like super old. Oh my god, I don't know. I think maybe I should unhaul them. Like, yes, I'm a sucker for vampires, but I don't even know like what order the series goes in. The author is Alexandra Harvey. They don't even match. And like, I actually do like this cover, but like these covers can go. You know, I can just read them at the library or something, because I mean or I can get the ebooks of them, because these are library copies, but I bought them from, wow, this is from Las Vegas. I bought them from Thrift Books. So let's get rid of that. Let's see if there's anything on this shelf. Nope. This is all my Runix and LJ Shen books. I'm gonna keep all that. Okay, I have a bunch of like vampire books down here, and I'm just gonna keep all of them. I have like Anne Rice. I have some that my friend Hannah gave me. Like, that's like a Fallen Angel series. King of Battle and Blood. Dowry of Blood is an amazing book. Keeping that, of course. Here's my V.E. Schwab Lee Bardugo. I'm going to keep those. Even though I really, really need to read A Darker Shade of Magic, I need to read that this year. Like, truly, it's been haunting me. Okay, I feel like there might be some books on this shelf that I can unhaul. I feel like, oh, for sure, yeah. I did not like this book. It is stunning. This is the Fairyloot edition, but you know, that's even more reason to get rid of it, because I can get some coin for this. I mean, I'm selling them to half price books. I just don't have the time right now to go through and add these books all to Pango. But it's going to happen one day, okay? Defy the Night, I'm not sure. I do love the purple sprayed edges. I'm going to keep this for now. Oh my god, Evermore Academy. Dude, I freaking love this book, and I want to read the next two in the series. I had such a good fun time with that. A Game of Fate by Scarlett St. Clair. I hated this book because it was the exact same as the first book, but it was in a different point of view, but it was the exact same book. I'm gonna get rid of that. And then Guild by Raven Kennedy. I tabbed this. This was also a gift. I have a hard time getting rid of books that were gifted to me. Well, Game of Fate was also a gift, so I'm kind of a hypocrite. But I didn't hate Guild, so that's the difference. Like, I hated. Anyway, here's Rhapsodic. I loved this book. Definitely keeping my Outlander, even though I've only read the first one. But I'm definitely not going to get rid of those. I'm not even going to try to put all these back, like, perfectly, because I'm literally going to move them anyways. Oh, here's one I can get rid of, if you can see it. Small Angels. I don't know. I got rid of my book of the month because there was a time where I was just picking books, even though I was like not really interested in them, but I was like, oh, let me just pick a book for the book of the month. But like, I don't care about this book, and I'm never gonna read it. Jade Fire Gold, also just like, I mean, it's Fairyloot special edition, so half price books will buy this, because I really don't think anyone would even want to buy this from me other than half price books. And then everything down here, well, actually this one I might want to get rid of. 6 Crimson Cranes. This is another YA fantasy. Yeah, I don't see myself reading this. And it is really pretty, so someone else will come across it and they'll be excited about it. All of these all of these on the bottom here, I'm gonna keep. Let's see. Okay, and then everything else is like stuff that I've already read and loved, or that I'm really excited to read. that I don't want to get rid of. So let's sit down and go through the books that I have sitting on the wall on the other side of this room. I will show you guys the stacks, or the stack of books I created that I'm getting rid of, and it's pretty significant. Actually, there's some more I could get rid of. The Revenant, getting rid of that. This is a book called Entering the Maze. I don't know. I'm getting rid of that. Here's a book called The Richest Man in Babylon that I never read. There was a time in my life where I was like going through how to be financially responsible, and I was learning about how to handle finances and all that kind of stuff. And I did read a lot of books about finances. This was years ago, and this was one I bought and I never read it, and I just don't think I'm ever gonna read this. So we're gonna get rid of that. Okay, and then here's a book about creative writing. And I actually did start reading this a while ago. It's kind of like a textbook type thing. It was quite expensive. I paid $35 for this. And I couldn't tell you why I bought it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna learn how to become a creative writer. That didn't happen, so, you know. Okay, then we have The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I've read this, but I read it on audio. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna get rid of that. Yawn. Okay, and then going back to the shelf, I read this and I didn't like it. My Best Friend's Exorcism. Whenever I see this book, I mean, oh my god. Well, a bunch of the books that I'm unhauling just fell to the floor and scared the shit out of my dogs. We're gonna move on with our lives. Here's the stack of books. I feel like it doesn't look like a lot, but it's a lot. It's the angle for sure, but this is a lot of books just for my shelves. And then we have all these that I'm gonna go through right now. Okay, so let's sit down and go through all of these books. I've already gone over these books, the ones right here with you guys. We have 2 piles here to go through, and I'm excited to let go of all these books. First up, we have All In, the Full Tilt Duet by Emma Scott. I actually do kind of want to get rid of the first book that goes with this. I didn't annotate in this, but I did tab it, and then I started to hate the book. I gave this book 1 star. It just like wasn't for me. The couple is separated for most of the book, and yeah, it just like wasn't my thing. And then I have some mangas here. I have the first volume of Hunter x Hunter, and I read this and I really liked it. I did like the anime, but I just didn't continue with the manga series. I have nothing against it. It was good and everything. And then Horimiya volume 1, also something that I don't have anything against. I just don't see myself continuing with the series. I did like this volume, but not enough to like, you know, continue, I guess. And then After the Rain, the first volume, I did not like this. It's an age gap. It's between a student and a teacher, and that's not necessarily like what bothered me, but like the teacher himself was just really annoying. And at one point she like paints her nails, and then he acts like he didn't know, had never seen nail polish before. I read this a long time ago, and I still remember being so annoyed by this. I was like, wait, you're a grown man and you've never heard of nail polish? Like, what is wrong with you? Okay, and then I have Snow White with the Red Hair. I found this to be extremely boring, and I had a hard time getting through it. The anime is a lot cuter, in my opinion, than the manga. I mean, I've only read the first volume, but I just didn't have fun with it, so I'm not gonna continue on with that. And then I have No Longer Human by Junji Ito. I did not like this manga. It was so boring and so boring. I mean, it's based on a very depressing novel by Osamu Daizi. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. And the novel itself is depressing, but for some reason I was just like so bored with this. Like, I do want to read more Junji Ito. I have some more of his mangas, but this one just didn't do it for me, and it's just very, very dark and depressing. So I definitely don't recommend reading that unless you're like in a headspace where you can handle it. And then next up is A Love Letter to Whiskey. This was a gift from my friend Manda, so I hate getting rid of books that have been gifted to me. But the way that I hated this book so much because it has nothing to do with whiskey. I thought it was going to be like a book about addiction, like alcoholism, and it was not. Definitely not what I think. One of their nicknames, they call someone whiskey or something like that. I did not like this. I don't know if Candy Steiner writing is for me. Don't come for me. I just don't know if I vibe with her. I've read 2 of her books and I just didn't really like them, but this one I really did not like because there was so much that went wrong with that book. So I am gonna unhaul it, but I still love you, Amanda. Next up is An Arrow to the Moon. It's a YA fantasy. I think that I got this from Fairyloot. The edges are really cool. The cover's really cool. I'm never gonna read it. Same with Blood Scion. I tried to read this last year and I got a couple pages. I think I got like 30 or 40 pages in and I just wasn't hooked. So I stopped reading and I meant to pick it back up and I never did. So gonna get rid of that. The Magic Fix by Mark Montanaro. I feel so bad because the author sent me this book to read it and I never did. I'm sorry, Mark. I disappointed you. Once Upon a Broken Heart. I actually do love this book, but I have this UK edition. This is the copy I annotated, but I just, now that the series is getting longer, it's up to 3 books now, and I have this edition, the UK edition, plus the second book, 2 editions of that. So that's 4 books already. Once the 3rd book comes out, if I collected the original plus the UK, I would have 6 books. It's just like too many books for this series. For a series that I'm not like over the moon about, you know. I do love it. Like I had a great time with this book and I'm still planning on reading the 3rd book, but I don't need 2 copies. Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. I think I tried annotating this. I ended up hating it. Yeah, I did annotate in it a little bit. I gave this book 1 star or 2 stars. I was so bored. I could not stand Fox, the main character. And then Layla by Colleen Hoover. I absolutely hated this book. I thought it was so dumb. This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. I'd never read it and I don't think I'm going to. Nothing against the book. I don't know. Doris Lessing. Wait, no. The Fifth Child by Doris Lessing. I have no idea what this book is. Like, I think I probably got it from Goodwill or something. This is not actual books. This is like I'm not getting rid of that. I don't know why that's in this pile. Spice Road. This is a Fairyloot edition. There's really nothing I like about this edition. I think it's maybe because it's like got like this, like a fire engine red with like this turquoise blue and the orange, and I just don't love it. Don't love it. So it's gonna go to Half Price Books. Also, I'm just like not interested in the book itself. This one I'm kind of sad about. So Children of Virtue and Vengeance and then Children of Blood and Bone. Whenever I purchased these, I had full intentions on reading this duology. I think it's a duology. And it's just too much time has passed and it's young adult fantasy. And I've heard actually really mixed things. So, I mean, I don't want to like sway anyone from picking it up, but you know, I just don't see myself picking it up anytime soon. And I just have a lot of books and I don't want to keep books if I'm not going to read them. Jonathan Strange, Mr. Norrell, and Mr. Norrell. Do you see how long this book is? Yeah, that's not happening. It's not going to happen. I used to be in my long book era and I'm not anymore. So, with the exception of like a few, you know, authors, like I will read long books, but speaking of long books, wow. Yeah, The Way of Kings, Brandon Sanderson.
It's not gonna happen.
I'm sorry. Like I purchased this whenever I was in my full-on fantasy girl era years ago, and I've just not read it. I'm sure it's amazing. It's too long. I Hunt Killers. I think it's YA. I don't know. I'm getting rid of it. Lovecraft Country. I think this is a show. There's a show based on... Yeah, it's a soon-to-be HBO series. I've not read it. I don't even know what it's about. And then there's this book, which I don't know how to pronounce, so I'm not even going to try because I'm going to butcher it. I got this from Goodwill. It was like $1 or $2, and I've just never reached for it. House of Salt and Sorrows. This is another YA. I believe it's fantasy. Stephanie Garber. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's YA. I just am not drawn to, I'm just not going to pick it up. I don't know. I went through a phase where I purchased a lot of YA fantasy books, but I just don't read those much anymore. The Bone Houses. Now, this is actually a really good book, but I don't think I'm going to reread it, and it wasn't a 5-star. It was like probably 4. I mean, it's good for like spooky season. The Shadowhunters Codex. I've never read this. I don't plan on reading this. And the paperback is so small, it doesn't really fit, like, aesthetically with my Shadowhunter shelf. It's finally time for me to get rid of Kristen Hanna. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sure that this book is amazing. I'm sure it's lovely and wonderful, but if I ever want to read it, I can get it from the library on ebook or something. I don't know. I don't need to own the physical copy. The girl the sea gave back. Another YA fantasy I just don't see myself picking up before I die. You know what I'm saying? Like, Fallen. There's like this non-removable sticker. Like, goodbye. Your time has come. Ash Princess by Laura Sebastian. Another YA fantasy that I don't know. Oh, I think is this the second book? Lady Smoke, Laura Sebastian. Yeah. So these I got off of some kind of discounted website because they're like marked on the bottom. Uprooted. Wow, I read this years ago and I liked it, but I don't remember anything about it. It was definitely a cover buy. I have no plans on reading the second one, and I don't know. Everyday Millionaires by Chris Hogan. I went through a phase, you guys. A phase where I was reading all the financial responsibility books, and that phase has passed. And I am financially responsible. Thanks to those books. Like I literally learned so much, but I just don't have any. And I did read this. I read it. I just don't have any interest in it anymore. Everything is Going to Be Okay. This was a book someone gave me after my sister passed away. No offense, but I don't really want to think about that. So yeah, I'm going to get rid of that. No offense to the person who gifted it to me. Like, they had well intentions and everything, but it's not a book that makes me happy because I just think about how sad I was. Love Your Life, Not Theirs. I read this. I'm going to get rid of it. I read this a long time ago. These Hollow Vows, I read this and I hated it. I thought it was so juvenile and like mediocre. I don't know. I guess also I had high expectations. My expectations for this were like very high because I was hearing it was like ACOTAR mixed with Cruel Prince. I don't know. Not for me. And it's Fairyloot, so someone will come across it that loves that book. All These Wonders. This is another book I got from Goodwill. I got it because it was pretty, but like, I don't need to keep books just because they're pretty. The Gallery of Mothers and The Threat Below. I read this book. These books were gifted to me by the author, and I did enjoy the first book a lot. It was actually really good. If you like YA dystopian, definitely check it out, but I just don't feel the need to keep them. The Simple Wild, this was a gift, so again, I have a hard time parting with this, but it just didn't vibe with me. And I did DNF it, and I don't think it's something I'm going to give another chance to, because if I start a romance book and I don't like one of the love interests, I just can't. I'm not going to force read it. I'm not going to hate read it. You know what I'm saying? Same with The Kiss Quotient. I just did not vibe with it, and it sucks because like I just wanted to love this book so bad, but it just wasn't for me. The Girl Serpent Thorn by Melissa. I'm not even going to attempt it. This cover is really pretty. YA fantasy, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm not going to read it. Memoirs of a Teenage Amnesiac. Now, actually, I thought I remember someone telling me this book was really, really good. But for the life of me, I can't remember if that's true or not. If I'm just making that up. I think someone told me that book was good, but I don't know. American Streets. I think this, okay, I got this off of, whenever they have marks on them, it means I got it from like a discount store with the intention of reading it. Same with this one. This one's definitely, it was from, I don't know, some website that there was discounted. Winter in Paradise. I've heard bad things about this author. I don't remember what bad things, and I've never read her. I don't know. I'm gonna get rid of it. And then The Devil's Thief by Lisa Maxwell. I'm sure that this series is amazing, but it's long. Goldfinch by Donna Tart. It's long and it seems boring. No offense to anyone who loves that book, but it looks like a boring book, so I don't even know why I bought it. I think I tried to be like a smart girly, like a scholar by buying this, but I'm not gonna be a scholar. Okay. And then Wings of Ebony. I loved this book and I cried, but it's YA fantasy. And it's not like a YA fantasy I see myself rereading. It is a signed edition, so I think, you know, a teenager could come across this at Half Price Books and think the world of this book. and it could change your life. So I'm changing lives by getting rid of books. And that's everything. Oh my god, I just rapid fire went through all the books I'm getting rid of. Let me try and count how many there are.
1 minute later.
Okay, so I just counted and there are 89 books that I'm getting rid of. That is freaking amazing. I love that for me. Moving forward, I'm gonna try, I mean, we can only do our best, you know what I'm saying? We can only have good intentions with the books we buy. But I am gonna try and only buy books that I'm really excited to read. Because I think what I've done in the past has been like,
Oh, that's a book. I'm gonna buy it. That's a book. I'm gonna buy it.
but like I can't do that. Because I end up accumulating so many books that I just feel very meh about, very mediocre. So, you know, I'm gonna start being very stingy with what I put on my wish list, with what I spend my money on as far as like book purchasing goes, because like the library does exist. I can always, you know, borrow ebooks from the library. I don't really go to the library to borrow physical copies because that's just like, it sounds like another chore, returning the books to the library. It would never get done, and then I would end up having all these fees. So that's why I don't borrow books from the library. But yeah, 89 books, that's really good. So I can say goodbye to all these books. So anyway, if you made it to this portion of the video, you can leave a bat emoji. I know it's only July, but hear me out. I'm tired of summer. It's way too hot. I'm dying. Everyone's dying of heat stroke. And I'm ready for fall, and I'm ready for spooky, and I'm ready for Halloween and bats and all things that go bump in the night, you know what I'm saying? And if you did like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe to my channel. I will also have my Patreon and my Instagram linked down below if you do want more content from me. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.
You should come through tonight. I'm chilling on the west side. Call my homegirl, tell your best friend, 'cause I do